Malcolm is aware of this dynamic. He even draws attention to it, so he can try and manipulate me to come on stream so he can treat me like a lolcow and chastise me for being SA'd like the Destiny Kalmangera hybrid that he is. Darren, are you in here? Darren, will you make like a monster, like a Morbius, like fucking morph of me as Destiny and Kalmangera? That's so funny. That is so funny. First of all, Sage Queen, you are a lolcow. You literally made a 3-hour-long video about your suicide attempt. You are a lolcow. I don't know what to say. It is time. Okay, so Sage, our queen, one of the oldest members in the Poppycule now. She's been around for a hot minute. Sage is thriving in the Poppycule, okay? Sage has said on multiple occasions that she doesn't want to be involved in all this, guys. She doesn't like the drama. She doesn't like, you know, the toxic discourse. She doesn't like being associated with other people's actions, okay? We hate that, right? We hate it. We hate it, okay? Hate it, hate. Unfortunately, Sage, part of being an unnoticed dweller on the side, right? Part of that includes not making a scene. You know, if you want to be unnoticed, if you just want to be there casually as a viewer on the side of the road, you have to not actively stick your foot in the door. Okay? And we're not very good at that at all. We're not very good at that at all. But, you know, respectfully, it's like, okay, you know, a lot of the criticisms aren't for you. A lot of people aren't worried about what you're doing or what you're saying. All right, that's fine. However, unfortunately, that air horn, that's not how it's going to be anymore. Because, unfortunately, when you play with fire, you guys, you do get burned, okay? So, not only has Sage been having a little meltdown, you know, saying that her Cerise, her altar, has said, you know, Sage shouldn't be on Twitter. It's not healthy for Sage to be on Twitter. Sage needs to take a break from Twitter. She's spiraling. Unfortunately, even Sage's alter / sister, whoever the fuck, could not keep her safe from the schizo spiral. Okay, we are in full-blown psychosis. And we have kicked the hornet's nest. We have blown too hard on the coals. We have reignited the fire, okay? I'm a big fan of live and let live and let bygones be bygones, you know? I noticed a few days ago. How many days ago, you ask? 4 days ago, approximately, on Friday. I noticed that Sage had unblocked me on twitter.com, aka x.com. I'm sorry, I don't mean to dead name Elon Musk's child. Anyway, I noticed that Sage had unblocked me. So, with all the whining and crying and writhing on the ground and screaming and fucking I'm gonna kill myself, in between all the cries to be heard, and the cries to be interpreted correctly, I thought it kind of me to reach out to Sage to see if she wanted to give her side of the story. Okay? I just wanted to see if maybe Sage wanted to share with the class maybe some of her thoughts, maybe some of her feelings. You know, maybe share her side and her perspective. I thought it only fair to reach out and offer an olive branch. So this is the conversation that we had. She and I, her and I, so happy together. Okay, so I reach out, say, hey, hope all is well. I wanted to reach out. You're welcome to hop on and chat anytime. My Discord is FTMongoose. Just let me know when you're free. Also, as a side note, I know that Poppy has said I'm transmed as a way to deter people from talking to me. I'm not a transmed, and the majority of my content is debating Truscum out of transmedicalism. Hope to hear from you soon. Approximately an hour later, Sage says, I said before, I'm not doing the drama circus. You chose to make 8 videos on my partners. It was actually like 9. Why on earth would I engage with that? If you want to discuss my side of things or my story in specific, I'm happy to do them here, but I am not a content farm. Tisk tisk, little did you know, you are. So I said, you said you're willing to tell your side. I'm happy to hear it. If you're willing to share, I am all ears. Additionally, everything will be made into content. Because not only you, but both Poppy and Xena have chosen to make this content. It is in the public arena now, so you can choose to throw in your 2 cents or let others drive the narrative. Entirely up to you. I'm okay with either. Sage said, there are stories. We are entitled to open up about them if we want. My video only exists because the harassment we've all received made it impossible to stream for so long that I couldn't address it in the absence. And Xena and Poppy chose to make their videos because people decided to turn her essay, and my suicide attempt into discourse. The excuse that we somehow gave everyone permission to make content out of our assaults by making our own statements and videos doesn't work here. Do you have any specific clarifications you want? For context, again, people making this into discourse and making this into content was like 2 people on Twitter. Okay, we didn't need to do a stream about it. We didn't need to do a segment about it. And as anyone who has ever been on the internet for more than 5 seconds knows, as soon as you make something public, it is up for other people to comment on. Okay? It's not just me sitting here talking alone to Cloud P. We're not having a private conversation. We're not having this closed door, secret hush-hush back and forth. It is public. All of you are going to have opinions on what Cloud P says. All of you are going to have opinions on what I say. And you guys are all free and welcome and probably eager to comment on the conversation that we are having. That is part of having a YouTube platform. That is part of having a YouTube channel. That is part of having a public Twitter that Sage pays for, by the way. So, unfortunately, no, you didn't need to make a video about it. 2, now that it has been made into a video and has been made into a segment, everybody is free to comment on it as they will. You don't ask somebody for permission to react to their content unless you're like the most polite person in the entire world. Okay. For example, I asked Brennan Beckwith if I could watch an episode of Brenemies on stream because that was like the polite thing to do. However, you guys have everybody and their mom blocked. How was I even supposed to ask? Okay. But you don't need permission to react to other people's public content. Okay. So I say, it's not an excuse. It's something you both put out publicly for people to comment on and push back on. I've seen many and heard many complaints of, quote, not hearing the other side, and, quote, not hearing our side of the story. So this is an opportunity to do so publicly. As you know, any content that you put out any content put out against you will get higher numbers and a far further reach than you could ever put out. Right now, as you're well aware, the story is one-sided. You're free to come on at any point and share your side of the story, but full transparency, mine and any other platform you choose to use to share your side will not be shared exclusively in private due to you making this all public from the jump. Happy to hear you out with a critical lens, but it will all be public. Sage says, all right, here's the deal. I have to go to bed because I have work very early tomorrow morning and I have a lot on my plate tomorrow. If you have specific things you want clarified, I will respond when I can, but I'm not going to go on your stream and to, quote, give my side when right now you can't even define what it is you want out of the encounter. You are already misinformed about the timeline here. You have a backwards idea of the point of our videos even were, and you haven't even shown any indication that you actually know where I fit into any of this or what my story actually is, even from the other side's narrativization. So I again ask, what is it that you want me to clarify? I say, if I'm, quote, misinformed and you're upset about your side, quote, not being heard, it should be easy for you to defend yourself, or should be easy for you to defend, and you should be jumping with joy to share your experience and perspective on the discourse. I'm happy for you to clarify any misinformation that's been spread by me or others. So again, open invitation to come on whenever and correct whatever you think has been reported on or shared incorrectly. I don't have a specific grievance or wrongdoing I want to clarify. I have logs, screenshots, and clips that inform my perspective on the situation. If you want to add context or clarify any of the grand narrative that has to do with all of this, quote, drama by the throat, then you're welcome to. Again, I will remind you that this narrative exists with or without your input and will continue to be pushed in one direction. You and Poppy both refraining from pushing back on platforms that have credibility will only add nails to your coffin. You're welcome on anyone's platform to discuss all of this, but you have no cards to play. You either do or you don't. There's no back and forth to be had. Ball's in your court. Hope to speak soon, and I hope that you have a good day at work tomorrow. So, guys, I can be nice. I can be professional. I can be so cash money when I need to be, okay? I can be so cash money when I need to be. You can ask anyone who has ever spoken to me in private or, publicly or whatever. I am very polite and I am very professional in DMs. On stream's another story. But when I'm like trying to schedule something with somebody, I'm just going to be really polite. I'm just going to be really, I'm just going to be very ooh-woo. I'm going to be very soft being about it, okay? Because that's just like how I like to conduct myself in DMs, when I'm trying to schedule stuff, when I'm trying to set stuff up. So, based on that interaction, okay, which I think is like milk toast, very vanilla, very bland, like wouldn't think anything would come of that, right? You're like, wow, that was just somebody saying, hey, do you want to come in and clarify? They say, I don't really want to make it public. I said, it's already public, so, if you want to come on and chat about it, it's not going to be private. Like, none of this shit's going to be private because it's already public. And then they say, well, what do you want to clarify? And I say, well, nothing in particular, but, if you think that I'm misinformed about whatever, you're free to come on and correct me whenever I want. I was blocked shortly after this interaction. So, unfortunately, we are not talking to Sage. Unfortunately, that's not happening. But you know what we did get, you guys? You know what we did get? We got our very own schizo allegation post. We got our very own schizo allegation post, okay? Here we go, guys. Here we go, guys. It is the Malcolm allegations. Malcolm abused Sage in DMs. I abused and manipulated and assaulted Sage in DMs. That was my vicious assault. So let's see what our let's break it all down. As in Sage's words, let's break this all down, okay? So Sage says, since we're all leaking DMs now, by the way, I did not leak these DMs. I didn't leak these anywhere, okay? I sent them to one person. All right, I sent them to one person. So if they got leaked from me sending the one message where no, you know what? I did. I'll correct myself. In Discord, I put the first message where I said, hey, just so you know, I see that you unblocked me if you want to chat. I screenshotted that and I put it in the Discord. That was the only thing I put in the Discord. That's the only thing I put in the Discord. If that's leaking DMs, okay. So, but go ahead, leak the DMs. I didn't say anything crazy in there, but other than the horrific violent abuse. Okay, so since we're all leaking DMs now, this is the conversation that I had with Goddamnit Malcolm on Friday night, in which he attempts to manipulate me into being ambushed on stream. One's in chat if you think at any point I, was planning to ambush Sage. Was I not clear that I wanted to have her on so she could talk about her shit? And I even said through a critical lens, right? Did I not say that? What was the ambush? I know that these little nerds have been obsessively watching all the content that has been put out about them. I know that Sage is familiar enough with me and my content and my opinions on her that she knows what I think of her and this whole situation. Like, do you guys really think that would be an ambush? I don't think that would be an ambush. Like, if you're familiar with my coverage of this, which she is, she's watched all the fucking videos, I know she has, what would the ambush be? You already know how I think, you already know how I feel. There's no ambush to be had. But anyway, I'm jumping ahead. Let's hear out both sides, guys. We need to hear out both sides. We have to hear out both sides, okay? You tell me. Everybody, we're doing the Malcolm Manipulator Abuser review. Everybody put on your glasses. You tell me. You guys hold me accountable. Was I manipulative and abusive? Hold me to account, I say. Okay. So, this is the message that I sent. We just read these, so, do you want to chat? I'm not a true scum, by the way. I know that Poppy says that I am, but I'm not. Just as a heads up, blah, blah, blah. And then she said, I said before I'm not doing the drama circus, blah, 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 blah. Just read these, okay? She says, my response to his request on stream was a definitive no. Show me where it says no in here. I said before I'm not doing drama circus. You chose to make 8 videos. Why would I engage with that? If you want to discuss my side of things or my story on the specific, I'm happy to do that here, but I'm not a content farm. So this is not a no. This is, yeah, I'm willing to talk to you, but I don't want to do it on stream. That's what this is. This isn't a no. This is not a definitive no. Guys, is this a definitive no? If you want to discuss my side of things or my story in specific, I'm happy to do it here, but I'm not a content farm. That's a definitive no, don't you think? Don't you think? Reading that, you think, oh, it's a no. Not only that, but I provided an explicit condition under which I would be willing to talk, that being private through DMs. For most people, that would have been enough for the conversation to have ended or have turned to a different subject. But for Malcolm, no doesn't mean no. Malcolm, abuser confirmed. Curious, however, that no doesn't mean no when we're talking to me, even though she never said no. No is not present in this. But when we have explicitly in the Google Docs where Noe says, no, do not come, we are breaking up with you, do not come and see us, not knowing what no is isn't a problem for your partner. That is not an issue. No? Why don't we just do a little side-by-side comparison here? let's do a little side-by-side comparison. Okay, I have this handy, you guys. I have this handy. Ready? Is everybody ready? Don't come down. What? Haley is an absolute wreck because of all of this. I mean, she kind of dropped the ball. I'm sorry. She is a wreck. She did this to herself. I still want to see you both. Don't be like that. I don't think it's going to be possible. Constant stress. We're still coming down. Stop. At this point, it has to stop. Listen, it can be fixed. Can I please call? No. Please. I'm trying to fix this. Please don't shut me out. Please. I'm still coming. Fixing what? The situation. There's barely anything there. It's not true. It is true. It hurts. I know. I'm sorry. No means no unless Poppy bullies you into saying yes. Interesting. Malcolm is an evil, manipulative, abusive raper, but not Poppy. Not Poppy. Poppy. No. Can I call? This can be fixed. No. Don't come down. I don't want to see you. Apparently, if I'm taking anything from Poppy's playbook, it's like if you ask enough. I mean, I guess 100 no's and a yes is still a yes. Let's go, Poppy. Okay. All right. For most people, that would have been the conversation. But for Malcolm, no doesn't mean no. It's an opportunity to convince someone to say yes. God, where have we seen this before, guys? Where have we seen this before? Maybe here. Oh. Something that isn't necessarily an inherently problem if you know where the line is and when to stop. Malcolm doesn't. You guys, again, I'll ask. Hold me accountable. Does this invite further conversation, or like, am I the one that is socially autistic in this interaction? Is this stop talking to me? No, this is, I'm happy to do it here, but I'm in a content farm, and I clarify that it's not going to be public, because even if it is in DMs, it's not going to be private, right? Okay. So go on, and then I say, you said you're willing to tell your side. I'm happy to hear it. I'm all ears. And then I say, additionally, everything will be made into content, right? Like, so even if we talk in DMs, just full transparency, it's not going to be made, it's not going to stay private, right? That's basically what I say here. And then she shares her little screenshot, blah, blah. And then she says, after being told no, we're going to scroll right back up here. Where's the no in here? Anybody see a no? I don't see a no. I see a question. I see an explanation, then a question. Do I have any clarification? But I don't see a no anywhere. And I know what Noe's going to say. Not Noe, excuse me. I know what Sage is going to say. Oh, it doesn't have to be an explicit no. You should be able to read context. So you should be able to read the conversation. I am reading the conversation. Are you, Sage? Because you say here, I'm happy to do it, but it's not content. I say, I'm happy to hear it, but just so you know, it's not going to be private. It's going to be made into content, period. And then she goes on. And then an explanation as to why she made the videos in the first place. And then she says, any specific clarification you want. Okay. So I'm answering the question, okay? After being told no, Malcolm pushes further and says that he's willing to hear my side, noticeably without providing any context of what clarification he wishes to be given, and without noting what part of the story is even relevant. When you say, no one's listening to me, no one's hearing my side, I imagine that you have something that you want to say. No. If I say, you guys, nobody's hearing out my series of events, everybody's getting this wrong, everybody's getting that wrong, blah, blah, blah. Does that not imply that you have something that you want to correct? Question mark? So I would assume, again, if you're really upset that nobody's understanding the situation, nobody's listening to you, nobody understands what's happening, I would imagine that you, somebody who's bitching and moaning about nobody listening to you, would have something that you'd want to say. No? What a silly assumption of me. I should have followed the flow sheet. I should have followed the flow chart, you guys. Okay. He then pulls the you made this into content first, so I'm justified in milking it for content 2 line. Let me explain why this is a bad excuse. Let's hear it. First off, the first person to turn this into a public debate was Melina. Wrong. This was not a public debate by Melina. How many followers does Melina have on Twitter? How many subs does Melina have on YouTube? How many followers does Melina have on Tumblr? This was insular. This was something that was contained within your little 20 people that didn't like you until you and Poppy and Xena decided to start doing segments about it. Wrong. That's not what the debate was. That was not when the debate started. You guys started it. You guys are the ones with the platforms. You guys are the ones with the followers. You guys are the ones with the sycophants. You guys are the ones that decided to escalate this further. It was the same thing when Poppy went after her ex, Arden. Okay? Arden was the very first thread, if we time travel all the way back in time in 2022, was the very first person to make a thread on Twitter about Poppy, saying, this person is abusive, this person manipulated me, this person was controlling to me, and very abusive in my relationship, when we shared a relationship together. This tweet got 3 likes. 3 likes. You know what Poppy decided to do? Make a segment about it. That's when it becomes discourse. Nobody would know anything about this if you guys would have just shut the fuck up. And I know that you know that's true. Nobody would have known who Melina was. Nobody would have known who Spawn was. Nobody would have known anything about any of Poppy's exes. Nobody would have known anything about anything. You guys started this. You guys started to make this content first. You guys are the ones with the platform. You guys are the ones that wanted the clicks and the views. Congratulations. You got them. So let's hear why this is a bad excuse, okay? First of all, the debate was started by Melina. It was not. Not us. She posted her original Twitter thread while Poppy was in the hospital having bottom surgery. Does anybody have the link to this original thread? I have the link to this original thread. How many likes do you think this got on Twitter, you guys? I just want to guess. Let's hear guesses in chat. This is the first thread that Melina put together on Poppy. While Poppy was in the hospital recovering from surgery, small bean. How much engagement do you think this thread got? Let's see. Should we see? How many do you think? Okay, this is the original one, guys. Right here, 12 likes. 12 likes. 6 likes. 6 likes. 7 likes. 5 likes. Interesting. Interesting, guys. Interesting, isn't it? It's almost like this blew up because you guys could not keep your mouth shut. That's almost like that's what it was. Interesting. Okay, she uses her original Twitter threads while Poppy was in the hospital having bottom surgery, a move that I'm so positive was intentional as it ensured none of us were able to see or respond to it until later. Nobody would have known anything about it if you didn't respond to it. Just for the record. Additionally, we kept conflicts between everyone private from day one. I chose not to talk about my story and instead wrote my initial statement after I got out of the hospital last year in order to protect my privacy and not create further conflict. That didn't stop Melina from weaponizing the situation publicly against us while pretending to care what the alleged victim's words were. Melina, I love you, Queen. You are a nobody in comparison to the platform that Poppy has, right? And that was like the weaponization that Poppy uses against everybody that is smaller than her. That she used against Dormio, that she used against Rowene, that she used against Melina, that she used against Courtney. It was her platform specifically. Her choice to speak on all of this is what caused this to blow up in her fucking face because her narcissism knows no bounds. You guys did this to yourselves. You guys chose to publicly talk about these on platforms bigger than the people that were speaking out against you. If there is some no-name fucking Twitter account that posts a thread about why Poppy is abusive, it gets 3 fucking likes, and you decide to do a nuke stream on that, you're calling way more attention to it than anybody would have noticed in the first place. You have intentionally done this. These were all your choices, okay? And once you hurl the fucking basketball of content out there into the public sphere, everybody is free to play with it. Once your hands let go of the content ball and it's on the fucking court, anybody can pick it up. And Poppy should know better. She didn't, again, because her ego and her narcissism know no bounds. This should have been easily foreseen, unfortunately. When Courtney went psychotic, we stayed quiet. You know what's psychotic? This thread over me asking if you want to clarify things. Ironic, we want to talk about psychosis. You know what is void of psychosis? Brevity. Okay. Additionally, we kept... Okay, sorry, I already read that. When Courtney went psychotic, we stayed quiet until she threatened to dox and commit harm against Poppy and Cena, and even we limited the information entirely to what was relevant about the incident. Courtney was the one to begin schizo posting about us on here. Again, on Tumblr, where there's like 20 people that know what's going on. It's 2024. Nobody fucking uses Tumblr anymore. Again, this never would have left this sphere if you guys would have left it alone. If you wouldn't have done fucking video after video after video to Poppy, video, if you wouldn't have done that, nobody would have known. Sage, if you wouldn't have done a 3-hour fucking stream on your, like, fucking Discord rape, nobody would know about it. If you didn't do a 3-hour Discord stream, or a 3-hour stream on, like, your fucking suicide attempt, nobody would know about it. Because the 5 people that talked to each other on Tumblr were the only people that knew about it. You guys did this. Nobody was acutely aware of this. No one. No one was. Until you decided to make content out of it because you wanted clicks and likes and engagement more than you wanted your privacy, which is a fair choice to make. If that's what you guys think is important, and that's what you value, that's completely fine. However, you can't get mad when you compromise your privacy for attention. You can't get mad about that. You guys compromise your privacy for attention. You decided to turn interpersonal conflicts like your relationship drama, your alleged sexual assault, your suicide attempts, your fights with your fucking kid. You guys decided to turn that into content because you wanted the attention. And again, that is a fine choice to make. If you guys are comfortable with that, it's a free country, do whatever you want, but you cannot throw it out into the content mill and then expect nobody to touch it. That's not how that works. All I'm gonna say. When Lonely Orchard doxed Poppy and was subsequently booted by the Stalker's blog, we didn't turn the situation into content for safety reasons. With Adrian, everyone chose to keep the situation private until they worked with Melina to release their document. It should have been kept private from the jump. This is your fucking kid, bro. Like, this didn't need to be made into a stream. All of this should have been handled privately. But again, it's a free country. If you want to make it into content, that's fine. But it's also a free country in the opposite direction, and other people are going to make it into content too, Queen. Dormu got pissed off and decided to exaggerate an incident into making a false sexual assault allegation. Dormu never said sexual assault. All that Dormu said was that Poppy made it very uncomfortable, and that Poppy, with everything else that was going on, this was probably red flag behavior. That's all it was. Okay, no one said sexual assault. I know that's your guys' like favorite fucking word. No, Dormu never said sexual assault. Just that it was weird, and that is weird. That is a weird thing to do when you take your shirt off in front of somebody and they're like, "Oh, good heavens," and they look away and you go, "What's wrong? You never seen tits before?" That's weird. Okay, it's fine to call that weird. That's what it is. With the help of Melina and the Stalker blogs, like a day after assuring us that it was never going to do that to them, we didn't respond until afterwards. In the case of Haley, the situation went public because Poppy chose to speak on her assault, something that victims are entitled to do. There was no assault. There was no assault. Poppy got broken up with after they had sex. That is not assault. I don't know how long you guys are going to run with that one, but that's not assault. But their relationship was already highly public anyway. And whose fault was that? Whose fault was it that their relationship was highly public? If you guys don't want people commenting on stuff, don't bring it up publicly. The idea that there was a significant change, there's a string. All that aside, even if none of that were the case, even if all this was released by us first, it doesn't give people permission to use our trauma as a content mill. If you make it into content, people are going to make content about it. That is the nature of the internet. I don't know what to tell you. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter how dark it is. It doesn't matter how like cringe it is. If you make it public, if you turn it into content, people are going to comment on that. That's the internet. Kind of pathetic drama mongering is exactly what the commentary community, why the commentary community on YouTube is toxic and I'm definitely the one that's unhinged. Okay, so we have more. Everybody hold on, we have more. Let me, these are the messages that we read earlier, blah, blah, blah. Free to come on whenever you want, but like it's going to be public is what I said. A lot of talk recently has been on the subject of power dynamics. However, no one has addressed the dynamic between creators on this platform, especially as it relates to the issue. I agree. We've never talked about power dynamics between content creators and their platform. We've never talked about this before on the internet. Please, let's talk about it more. This is brand new content. I've never heard this conversation before. Please enlighten me. Content creators have a lot of influence, and there's absolutely no way for any content creator to eliminate that influence or prevent their audience from committing harm. There are, however, steps that can be taken to lessen the chance. And then quickly, just before we continue, I just kind of want to look at this. Okay, so just for the record here, before we dive into this, I want to make this abundantly clear. At this juncture, I have 5.3k subs on YouTube. Sage has 2.4k subs on YouTube. Okay, so if she's a small fry, I'm a small fry. Okay, that's both of us. That's both of us. We are both small fries, if that's the case. Right now, at the time of this juncture, Poppy has 9.76k subscribers. If I'm a super big, massive, scary, spooky content creator that is leering over Sage with all of my power and control, with all of my sycophants and millions of followers, that's what Poppy is to her. So how are her and Poppy in this relationship? What about Poppy exerting her platform over people that don't even have a platform, like Dormu or Melina or Noe? What about any of these people that literally don't even have a platform? Again, power dynamics only affect bad people, guys. Only people that I don't like are power dynamics important. When it comes to other people, okay? When it comes to other people, very important, okay? Jesus. Okay, so again, just for preface, for context, before we carry on, I have more subs than Sage. Poppy has more subs than Sage and I put together. But by the end of the month, I'm willing to bet she doesn't. But anyway, carrying on. One of the most obvious ways these dynamics manifest is the size and relative notoriety of these creators. When one creator is much larger in terms of following and has relatively more notoriety in a space, it is much easier for that creator to weaponize or benefit from their audience, committing harassment and brigading against another. I have never advocated for targeted harassment. I have never advocated for brigading anybody else's content. I have made explicitly clear in this content, in every drama, and every controversy I have ever been involved in, and let me tell you, there's no shortage, okay? I don't tolerate that. Or we can roll around in the mud, we can little tee you can go back and forth on Twitter, you know, you can comment this, comment that, I don't give a fuck. As soon as it starts to cross the line into targeted harassment and brigading, one, that's against TOS, don't do it. Second of all, I'll ban you on every fucking platform I have access to. Okay? I don't fuck with that shit. So what is all this targeted harassment? It's not targeted harassment. This is people talking about your behavior, people saying, wow, that person's a piece of shit, and then going and saying something about it. I don't condone that. I don't tell people, go and comment on Sage's shit. Go tell Sage she's ugly. Go tell Sage she's a dumb bitch. I don't do any of that. Whatever you guys do outside of my chat, my Discord server, is out of my control. If I see you being like a huge piece of shit, if I know that you're in my community and I see you being a huge piece of shit, I'll kick you out of my community. That's fine. But like, who am I, God? Wow, I had no idea that Sage thought so highly of me. That's beautiful. Wow. God King Malcolm, let's go. And again, I will call attention to the way that Poppy and Xena also weaponize their fan base. You know, like begging everyone in their audience to reblog this Guardian Acorn article that calls Noe a rapist. Even though Poppy admits that there's like misinformation in it, but doesn't choose to correct that at all. Why don't we look at that, you guys? Why don't we look at that? All right. So, suddenly, on February 29th, shortly after Poppy got fired, a document dropped about from the notorious Annie Gallagher with this image as the thumbnail, which is Noe with rapist in the Grand Theft Auto font right over the front of it. Poppy and her followers immediately started boosting this as much as possible, even going as far to pin it to the top of their channel's official Twitter account. This was also sent to Vosh, this was also sent to Keffels, this was sent to everybody and their mom to please share. Note that she says there are, quote, a few details that are a bit off, end quote, but continues to encourage sharing the post without any corrections. This is a direct admission of libel and actual crime. So, this is Poppy saying Lefty Dogpile's Poppy Dableek for being a rape victim. So, again, we care a ton, you guys. We care so much. So much about brigading and harassment and blah, blah, blah. But only when it's against people that we don't like. Very interesting, isn't it? It's very interesting, isn't it? Yeah. So, I mean, I don't endorse any of that shit. However, if there was somebody that I didn't like, I wouldn't pin a tweet to my profile with their face that says fucking rapist on it in the Grand Theft Auto font, and then I wouldn't acknowledge that it was, quote, some parts are a bit off, but it's still really good, and then encourage everybody to read it, share it, email it to their mom, text it to their boss, like whatever. I wouldn't do that, okay? But it's very clear that some of us actually have principles that are, like, for everyone, okay? Not just for friends, not just for fuck buddies, not just for partners. You know, it's kind of like this set of rules that I think are important to live by that I apply to everyone. Interesting, isn't it? Okay. Okay, where was I? Okay, does that mean it is fair game for creators who are equal or near equal in this respect? No. The outcome is the same. The difference is the ability to respond effectively. Malcolm is currently 2.5x my size, and Poppy is like 2x my size. What about it? Stardust, another streamer that thinks that reading someone's tweets and yelling about how that person blocked her is quality content. Better content than you'll ever make, unfortunately. Because you have the cadence of like a dying sloth. Like, I've never heard anyone talk slower. I mean, you could take some hints, I think. Anyway, has about 5.5x my following. Luxaner, roughly 3x. Xena and Poppy's size, and 15x mine. All of these creators have much more notoriety in the space we're in, and at least in the case of Malcolm and Stardust, have a much larger influence in the drama streamer spaces. Again, it didn't have to come to this space. You guys made it this. You guys chose to do this. Malcolm is aware of this dynamic, and the fact that his content has the ability to cause direct harm. Smaller creators. If calling out your bullshit is direct harm, bro, don't do the bullshit. That won't happen. He even draws attention to it in his message. This is to try to manipulate me into coming on stream. No, dude, I'm going to make fucking, you know, whatever chump change I make making these videos. 1, because I think it's fun. 2, because I think it's funny. 3, it's entertaining for people. Whatever. I do it because it's fun for me, and I get my, you know, little spike of serotonin with or without your presence. Okay? This was a kindness, if I'm being completely fucking honest. Because you, Poppy, and Xena, and then the poor other girl that's stuck in the Poppycule now, too, that's like, what the fuck are you guys doing? Why are you doing this to me? And they're like, this comes with the territory of dating us. All of you guys are torpedoing yourselves into the dirt by refusing to engage with this. What happens is if there is a controversy and everybody has one narrative in their head, okay? And as you said, this is a sphere that you aren't in. You aren't in the drama sphere, okay? When it exists in this sphere, that narrative will exist with or without your input. With your input, at least, there's a little bit of pushback, right? There's a little bit of wiggle room for you to say, hey, you know, I shared my side. You can choose to listen to it or not. Me calling that to your attention is not manipulation. Because I'm gonna still have my silly little LOL time with or without your presence, okay? Like, giving you a chance to come on and say, hey, dude, like, why don't you tell me, like, all the shit that everybody's getting wrong? Why don't you share your side of the story then on a platform that has access to this niche community, this big fucking mega platform that has all this clout? Why don't you come on in and share your side of the story then, instead of just getting shit on relentlessly? Like, why are you guys literally living in the porta potty? And then somebody's like, hey, do you want me to help you out of there? And you're like, no, I don't believe in that. It's like, you guys are just going to keep getting shit on. That's all that's going to happen. There's 2 choices. There are 2 paths forward, and you must choose, Mr. Bond. You can either engage, or you can fuck off forever. Those are like your 2 options. Sitting here in the middle and idling, Poppy is down like almost 1K subs on YouTube since this started. Sage isn't going anywhere. Okay. Sorry, Sage. Love you, Queen. You're not going anywhere. Okay. You're not going up. Probably won't go down either. I don't know. But like, the only thing that's going to happen is that people they're going to come to this content over time. The longer that it's out, the more people see it. All you're doing is a disservice to yourself. You either have to engage with it, or you have to fuck off. Those are like the 2 options. Sitting here and like quote posting on Twitter and quote posting on Tumblr and like writing schizo threads isn't doing you any favors. It's actually making it significantly worse for you, if we're being completely honest. But we don't have the wherewithal to understand that. But that's okay. That's why I was trying to explain it, okay? I wasn't trying to manipulate you. To be completely honest, I don't think that I could stomach listening to you talk for more than like 20 fucking minutes. Your cadence drives me insane. But nonetheless, just explaining how the dynamics are working. But excuse me for having eyes. Okay. Malcolm is aware of this dynamic. He even draws attention to it, so he can try and manipulate me to come on stream so he can treat me like a lolcow and chastise me for being SA'd like the Destiny Kalmangera hybrid that he is. Darren, are you in here? Darren, will you make like a monster, like a Morbius, like fucking morph of me as Destiny and Kalmangera? That's so funny. That is so funny. First of all, Sage Queen, you are a lolcow. You literally made a 3-hour-long video about your suicide attempt. You are a lolcow. I don't know what to say. Also, like, chastise you for being SA'd. What do you mean, chastise you for being SA'd? The only thing I ever said is, like, you weren't, like, sexually assaulted because somebody jerked off at a Discord call. That's not sexual assault. You can say that's, like, sexual harassment or, like, creepy behavior or whatever the fuck, but you weren't, like, fucking raped because somebody jerked off in a Discord call. I don't know what to say. That's not a debate to be had. That's, like, a statement of fact, but that's fine. So hilarious. Is she saying I have the T-slur voice? Is she being transphobic against me right now? Saying that I have the T-slur voice? Excuse me, bro. Never beating the transmed allegation. Damn. Damn, bro. That's tough. That's tough. Ooh. Whatever, I don't care. All right. See, Malcolm is aware of the fact that he is in a position of influence here and aware of how easily it can be used to harm. If anything, I'm trying to help you, bud. You guys are fucking floundering right now. He is banking on that to try to manipulate me into naively coming onto his stream to clear things up when he's not at all acting in good faith from the jump. Again, as somebody who has watched all of my content, I know you have, I know that you know that I would just probably be here for some LOL time. I think that you know that. I don't think that would be like an ambush. But like, again, if you have genuine, like, hey, you're wrong about this. This is actually what happened. I'm happy to hear it out. Or, oh, this was something that you said that was incorrect. Or actually, I was there and this happened. I'm happy to hear that shit out, dude. I don't have any problem with that. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, whatever. But everything that I have read and everything that I have seen that has informed my opinion has been words out of your mouth, words out of Poppy's mouth, words out of, well, mumbles out of Xena's mouth, and all the screenshots. Like, bring me some receipts. Throw it down. I got nothing wrong with that. I got nothing wrong with that. He also knows that I'm a target to go after Xena and Poppy are in his position. Oh, excuse me. That I am the target to go after because Xena and Poppy are in his position with him and wouldn't benefit from engaging with him directly. He, on the other hand, does benefit as the smaller figure. Poppy and Xena would not benefit from engaging with me. I promise you that's not the case. The only thing that Poppy and Xena can do right now is log off of the internet or like say, I was JK the whole time, LOL. Like, they aren't going to gain anything. And again, I'm having fun rolling around in the mud with or without you guys coming on my stream. It doesn't matter. You guys can never shut the fuck up anyway, so it's not like I even need you here to talk. But like, here in about a month's time, Poppy is going to be the smaller figure, dude. She doesn't have any more clout. She's clouded out. The clout udder is dry. She doesn't have any professional credibility. She doesn't have any clout credibility. She doesn't have any trans credibility. She doesn't have any credibility, okay? Like, if anything, it would literally be here for the lolcow behavior. That's it. That's all that we would be here for. And would it be hilarious banger content? Absolutely. It'd be so funny, dude. But it's nothing more than that. It's nothing more than that because Poppy isn't interested in correcting the record. Poppy is interested in, like, fucking freaking the fuck out and having a level 10 meltdown, right? Sage, at the very end, has all these receipts and all these grievances and all these complaints. Okay, air them out, queen. Let me see them. This is the same effect that Vosh noted several times with smaller creators. Oh, we're still dick riding Vosh, dude. Does Vosh, is his penis even still intact? Has it not snapped off inside of these people's fucking assholes yet? Holy shit. You guys are dick riding so hard. Wow. The stamina is incredible. He is banking on that to try to manipulate. Okay, sorry. Whoops. Smaller creators who he chose to allow in his stream to debate him, whose following largely grew due to the notoriety that they received through the debates. I would not get a shred of clout from Poppy's audience. Poppy doesn't even have clout from Poppy's audience right now. That's not what it's about at all. It's the thing that Vosh describes is like, and God, I really thought that like maybe there would be like a shred of intelligence in this 5,000 word essay about me from the 4 messages I sent on Twitter, but apparently not, okay? The concept that Vosh is referring to is the Aiden Paladin effect, okay? This is where you have someone on who is a fucking nobody. You debate them, you dumpster on them, you fucking shit all over them because you're the alpha Chad with the 500k subs on YouTube. You make this fucking nobody look like a complete buffoon. That smaller person clouts off of your audience. They clout shark all the way up to the top from leeching off of your audience, okay? There's nothing in Poppy's audience for me other than fucking furries and incest gooners, okay? There's nothing there for it. The clout train has already been ridden, bro. It's been ridden harder than you've rode Vosh's dick into the sunset, okay? Like, oh God in heaven. Okay, sorry. Let's keep going. My bad. You may wonder how this is manipulative then. Given the fact, in this position, I am more inclined to benefit being the smaller creator. The difference is the spaces in which we are in. You see, simply, I am always the manipulator and everybody else is always the manipulatee. Would I not benefit from the clout of coming on Malcolm's larger stream by my entire fucking argument in this whole paragraph? No, you see. Because I'm so mentally ill, and I'm so ultimately victimized by society. A trans woman is speaking. It's like, fucking Crimea River. God, grow up. If Malcolm were in the exact same creator space as me, I would benefit more from exposure on his platform, but he isn't. He's a drama streamer. For the record, I started drama streaming 2 weeks ago, you guys. Just for the record, this is a new gig, and I'm loving it. I'm loving the gig, okay? I'm loving it. Up until this point, all I talked about was, like, trans shit, and I did, like, little debates here and there. Loving this, you guys. This is a new area, okay? This is brand new. Sage doesn't know the Malcolm lore. Somebody should fill her in. My exposure would be towards primarily people that wouldn't watch my content regardless, so the negative attention both doesn't increase my growth and only further puts me in front of people who are actually likely to continue harassment. And that's still assuming Malcolm was in good faith, which he's not. I would be if you had receipts or anything intelligent to say, but again, brevity is the weapon of the mentally sane and stable, so we know that's not you. Malcolm is highly aware of this and is banking on me so he can manipulate someone he sees as vulnerable into doing something that only benefits him and further puts me at a chance of harm. I think there's a word for that, but I don't know. It's probably nothing. You're right. I abused you in Twitter DMs with 4 messages. Grow up. How do you people do anything? How do you have any interpersonal relationships? How do you have a job? Does your boss abuse you when he says, hey, you fucked up on this project? Like, You are insane. Like, you need help. Like, real help. Not Poppy. You need real help. This is 4 or 5 messages on twitter.com, and I'm abusing and manipulating you, and I'm Machiavellianly, like, puppeteering, mastering you. All I said was, if you want to come on my stream and fucking talk about shit, you can. Like, you're kind of fucked right now, bro. So if you want to come and talk, you're welcome to. If not, whatever, dude. Do whatever you want. Only somebody who has a permanent victim mentality. If only this person has the self-esteem of, like, the ugly duckling, would this person genuinely think that this is an instance of manipulation and victimization and abuse? Again, do you guys have real problems? Have you ever had a real issue occur in your life? Or is the worst thing that's ever happened to you that somebody broke up with you on Discord? Like, I can't understand how you guys do anything. I don't get it. This is abuse. I'm abusive. It's been confirmed. I'll say again, I'm not going on his stream, and that if he has a specific clarification that he needed, I will provide it in DMs after work. But Malcolm doesn't understand what being told no means, so he continues the manipulation. So again, tell me where the no is in here. All right, here's the deal. I have to go to bed because I have work very early tomorrow morning and I have a lot on my plate. If you want to have a specific thing you want clarified, I will respond when I can. So again, asking, is there anything that you want clarified? Literally just asking, is there another thing that you want clarified? You already are misinformed about the timeline, blah, blah, blah. So I'll ask again, what do you want me to clarify? So I answer her fucking message. Is me literally answering your question abuse? The book Conflict is Abuse. Whoever wrote that book should be crucified. You guys are such fucking babies. This person's like 27 years old. Grow up. Are you kidding me? It's not like I'm there with like a fucking gun to your head and I'm like, answer my fucking message, bitch. You can just not fucking answer. What? But Malcolm doesn't understand what being told no means. He continues the manipulation. I don't see a no in here. See a no in here. See a no in here or in here. I don't see a no in here. You know where I do see no's though? Don't come down. What? Haley's an absolute wreck. I mean, she kind of did this and she broke up with both of them. I still want to see both of you. Don't be like that. We're still coming down. At this point, it has to stop. Can I call, please? No. Again. Ooh, it's not looking good, but it looks like you have your horse blinders on. Like, you know, horse blinders are normally like this. It looks like yours are like this. Like, not, you know, like the horse blinders so the horse can't, like, look around and get distracted. Yours are, like, right here. Like, you guys can call literally everything abuse except for actual fucking abuse. You guys are comfortable calling everything SA and rape and all this other shit except for actual SA and rape. What? After being told no, Malcolm pushes further and says that he's willing to hear my side, noticeably without providing any context as to what the clarification he wishes to be given, and without noting what part of the story is even relevant. Again, like if you're crying, nobody's hearing my side of the story, you are misunderstanding things, you misrepresent things that you say are out of context. Okay, what are they then? Abuse. Another manipulator tactic called asking questions. Got him again. Manipulated and mind fucked. Let's go. He then pulls in the, you made this into content first, so I'm justified in milking the content line. Okay, wait, we already read this. Ha! Sorry, let me go down. My bad, guys. God, this just keeps going. Okay. Where was I? I'll say again, I'm not going on a stream. I'll provide DMs after work, but Malcolm doesn't understand what being told no means, so he keeps continuing the manipulation. Again, never told no once. I was actually asked questions and I answered the questions, but abuse. Notice how he continues to weaponize his influence to try to bait me into coming on the stream. He even says that Poppy and I being silent is a bad look, despite earlier citing us making content about this. Like, are you guys stupid? This is a genuine question. Are you guys stupid? Please, comment below. Are you guys stupid? Like, there is a difference between you making a piece of content. Let's say that I... Ooh, here we go. Let's say that I went to Walmart. And let's say that I was in a crabby mood and I called somebody a slur at Walmart, and I got the shit beaten out of me, okay? Let's say that happened, and let's say I get on stream with my black eye and my bloody lip and my, you know, fucking broken nose, and I'm like, guys, I just got the shit beat out of me because I was at Walmart and I was so upset, and I just started saying slurs, and then everybody got mad at me and just started beating the shit out of me, and it was so fucked up, you guys. And say this takes off, because how embarrassing, okay? Let's say this takes off, and everybody starts making content about it. Stardust makes content about it. Logic makes content about it. This really funny and awesome, handsome guy named Goddamnit Malcolm makes content about it, okay? Let's say this happens, okay? My response shouldn't be going back on stream and crying for like 20 fucking minutes. My response would be, I would say, I'm gonna like jump in on these streams and like be like, hey guys, like this is my side of the story. This is actually what happened. You know, I was kind of hamming it up. I was kind of memeing it up or whatever. I wouldn't make like a whole expose about like, these are the reasons that I said the slurs. The people that beat me up were actually transphobic and racist and belong and should be executed by the state. And anybody who's making fun of me is ableist. And anybody who's making fun of me is transphobic. And if you guys don't stop, I'm gonna sue you for it's like, I think it's just a fundamental misunderstanding of like social behavior. I think it's a fundamental misunderstanding of lolcow behavior. It's funny when they're like, I'm not your lolcow. It's like, you already were. Always have been. Always will be. Okay? It's because you guys don't know how to engage in this. Nobody wants a fucking 3-hour manifesto about your suicide attempt. That's not what people are asking for. Please, for the love of God, don't put out another one. What people are asking for is for you to engage honestly with the criticisms that are being given. Sure, is a lot of all of this like memes and jokes and like this is cringe and like this is gay or whatever? Yeah, of course. But within that, like be real. There are criticisms about your behavior. There are criticisms about Poppy's behavior. There are criticisms about Xena's behavior. You guys don't address it. You sit on camera and you fucking cry, rape, abuse, SA, gaslighting, manipulation, Darvo. That's all you do. Address the criticisms. Say something. Say anything. Literally, other than, I was raped, I was abused. Say something. Whether or not you were raped, whether or not you were abused, that's a separate question. The criticisms levied against you are about your behavior and your engagement with people that you are close to, okay? You being assaulted or whatever is not a shield for that behavior. People are asking questions about your behavior. Answer the questions. That's all it is. That's all anybody wants. Nobody wants another 5-hour fucking cope stream, okay? That's not what people want. Like, I don't know what to say. This is the kind of content creator that the blogs are supporting. Also, just for the record, all of the blogs fucking hate me, just for the record, okay? All the Tumblr blogs don't like me because they think that I'm reporting poorly on this because I'm making it into meme content, which, fair criticism, I'll take it. But I'm here for a good time, not for a serious time, okay? I'm here to have fun, all right? So, no, those blogs don't like me, for starters, okay? Anyway, they will accuse a person of having a mental health crisis that was egged on by their rapist abuse and then justify the absolute sinister kind of language used here to attempt to harass a creator who they know is in a position to be harmed. As Tyler, the creator, said, how is cyberbullying even real? Close your eyes. Now, if that weren't bad enough, I saw the clip of him going over my story. Something he did before reaching out and something released before, quote, giving the opportunity to give my side. He actually gives Destiny a run for his money. Okay. Does she know that that's... No, I'm just kidding. Gives a run for her money being the absolute slimiest and ardent defender of rape culture online. The clip is too large to share, but you can watch it here on this tweet if you wish, but it breaks down into 2 basic arguments. We'll play the clip quick. Flirting between Aztec and I was common in voice calls at first. The reason I reciprocated Aztec's flirting was because I like the attention. On occasion, I find flirting fun, but over time, it became more of a compulsion than something I was really into. Oh, this is a 4-minute clip. What is with all these people getting like fucking raped in Discord voice calls? Like, just hang up. There's a end call button. Yeah, so I will stand by this position. I'm not going to watch the whole clip. It's 4 minutes long. I didn't need a 4-minute clip of myself talking, but thank you, Queen. Here's the deal. People like this do a disservice to the term rape because somebody jerking off in a Discord call, like at you, can be very uncomfortable. I think that it can definitely be categorized as like sexual harassment. I don't think by any meaningful context could this be like, you know, considered sexual assault. I don't think that this could be considered rape by any stretch of the imagination. I think that this does a disservice to people who have actually been raped. I think this does a disservice to people who have actually been. Again, as somebody who is almost 30 years old, who spends, 99.9% of their relationships in Discord, your inability to press the end call button when you get uncomfortable is not tantamount to rape. So if you want to talk about rape culture, that's fine. There's a lot of things that we can talk about rape culture, how women are treated online, the way that women are expected to engage in sexual back and forth in like private conversations or Discord calls even. Yeah, that's definitely a problem for sure. However, to say that because somebody jerked off in front of you on Discord that you were raped, I genuinely think that I don't even know what to say other than I genuinely think that you need help. If you think, honest to God, that because somebody, and for the record, this has not been confirmed by anybody. It was Sage and this other person in the call. So it could all be fake for all we know. But let's just pretend that this is real. The claim is that the person was sitting like I'm sitting here at the desk, and the person was doing like this. Couldn't see anything, just like one of these, okay? And that she couldn't hang up the call and that she was raped because of this. She was sexually assaulted because of this. It wasn't, you know, like somebody getting flashed on Omegle. This wasn't like somebody getting flashed on the subway. Sage didn't even see anything by her own recollection of events. And she wants to say that she was sexually assaulted and that she was raped. You have to have a really warped view of what sexual assault and rape are if you think that somebody doing this is you being raped over a video call. And I'll stand by that. I'll bite the bullet on that one. That I will lose no sleep over that take because it does an incredible disservice to people who are assaulted, to people who are raped, for you to categorize yourself as being raped because you saw somebody doing this in a Discord call. It's actually disgusting behavior. It's absolutely disgusting behavior in my opinion. But that's neither here nor there. So that is the clip. So, but it breaks down into two basic arguments. Non-contact sexual assault effectively doesn't exist except in cases where the assaulter is larger than the victim. So if we go back and time travel back in time, what I said is that there is an argument to be made about certain power differences in situations where people feel pressured to conform with sexual acts that others try to exert upon them. And so because Sage thinks that I'm such a debate bro, why don't you come on and debate me about this? Because your take on it is absolute fucking dog shit. So my argument very clearly, and unless you plugged both of your ears and went la 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 the whole clip, you would understand this very clearly. There is an element of sexual control in a situation where there is fear of immediate repercussions if you do not comply with what the other person wants. Example, I'm a girl and I go on a date with this guy. And this guy, he's like, do you want to come out to my car? I'll give you a hug before we leave. And I say yes. And so I go to the car with the guy. And the guy kind of positions himself where I'm stuck between him and the car. And he comes in for a hug and he gives me a hug. And I'm kind of like, ooh, this feels kind of weird. And I kind of like shrug him off and like push him back a little bit. And he goes in to kiss me. And I go, whoa, what's going on? And he grabs the truck, like slams his hand on the truck and says, what, I'm not going to get a kiss? And this guy has me like pinned against the truck and you're like, fuck, okay, so you give this guy a kiss because you're scared of what's going to happen to him. That's an example of that, where you are coerced into doing something sexual that you don't want to do because of the consequences of saying no or rejecting that person. Or if somebody's been following you for 5 city blocks, it could be a little guy, it could be a medium guy, it could be a big guy, doesn't matter, been following you for 4 city blocks and you're starting to go down a road where you live and you're scared this guy's going to follow you to your house and fucking kill you, so you turn around and give him your phone number. That would be an example of that, okay? My argument is that there is this threat that is present in a lot of sexual situations where you might be exposed to something that you don't want to see. You might be pressured into doing something that you don't want to do because of the threat of harm and proximity to you and that person. That does not exist in a Discord call. It doesn't matter if I'm in a Discord call with Mike fucking Tyson, okay? I can say whatever I want. I can run my mouth. I can, say, fuck you, Mike Tyson, you're gay. Doesn't matter. He's not going to teleport in my room and fucking kill me. So the idea that I was so scared to hang up the Discord call, scared of what? Scared of what? That they were going to unfriend you on Discord? There's not an immediate threat of harm for you saying, hey, put your dick away. No gooing in Discord. There's no threat of you hanging up the fucking Discord call. That was my argument very clearly. Not in cases where the assaulter is larger than the victim, where the threat, the repercussion of saying no is imminent and there is a danger there. There is no danger in hanging up a Discord call with somebody that you're friends with that's making you uncomfortable. Okay? Let's see what the second argument is now that we have our debate bro hat on. If you are being assaulted and you freeze, you are weak and should have done something to stop or prevent it. Daddy Destiny must be so proud of you. You were not assaulted. You were not assaulted. Maybe it's a little jarring if you're in Discord and you look over and you see your bud going, and you go, oh my fuck, and you like kind of take a second and then you go, damn, that's weird as fuck, and then you hang up the call. You were not assaulted. That is not sexual assault. That was somebody doing this. Again, you didn't see anything. If you're on a train in public and you're minding your own business, you're reading your, fucking Kindle or whatever, and you look over and you see the homeless guy just viscerously beating his meat, just fucking going at it, and you go, oh my God, holy shit. And you just kind of sit there and you're like, oh my God, like, I hope he doesn't come over here and like fucking molest me. Oh my God, Jesus Christ. And you don't do anything. And then when your stop comes and you get up and you leave, that's a totally reasonable response. Would I say maybe you should get up and move? Yeah. But is it wrong for you to sit there and be like scared as fuck? No, I don't think so at all. I don't think that a fawn response is inherently wrong or inherently bad. I don't think that at all. I do think, however, if you are in a Discord call as a 27-year-old adult who has every single relationship you've ever had and probably will ever have on Discord, if you don't have the ability to not even see a dick, not even see the dick, and somebody's going, ugh, and you are like, and you just like sit there until it's over, and then you're like, I was raped. Yeah, you have the ability to go boop and hang up the call. You have the ability to do that. If that isn't what like rape apologia is, that isn't like, oh my God, if you're weak, you should have done something. It's not you're weak and you should have done something. It's that this is a non-issue. You're in a Discord call. You didn't even see anything by your own admission. It was literally just, and you were like, oh my God, I'm gonna fucking, I was just raped. You weren't. Maybe you were sexually harassed in a Discord call. I'll take that. Yeah, that's an easy one for me to bite. You were not sexually assaulted. You were not raped. And it's over the internet. Just hang up the call. Don't know what to say. Boots says, normalize feeling slightly uncomfortable without victimizing yourself. Boots is 100% correct. You can have a weird, uncomfortable experience with someone. That doesn't mean that you were sexually assaulted, and it doesn't mean that you were raped. Something creepy can happen. Something weird can happen. Like, you can have, like, if I'm on the train or something, or on the bus, and somebody scoots past me a little bit too close for comfort, and maybe I get, like, a little, a little brush, a little uncomfortable brush, that doesn't mean that I was raped. That doesn't mean that I was sexually assaulted. It doesn't even mean that I was sexually harassed. It was just kind of like, ooh, that guy got a little bit too close to me, and, we kind of got a little closer than we wanted to, but that doesn't mean anything. Same thing if I'm like at the club and I'm, the club is kind of packed and, I'm being mindful of my hands and I'm trying to like scoot by people. So something that I'll do is if somebody's dancing and they have a drink, I will always put my hand up either like on their arm, like right here so they don't spill their drink, or I'll put it like right in the middle of their back so they know that I'm behind them and I say, excuse me. That way they don't back up. That way they don't throw their drink over the shoulder and get me. Can that be uncomfortable for people? Yeah, it absolutely can. I totally understand that. So I try to be respectful and keep my hands up so I'm not getting elbowed in the face. I'm not getting drinks thrown on me. I try to be loud so people know that I'm behind them as I'm scooching behind them. If I get a little bit too close to somebody, that might be uncomfortable and it might be weird. Maybe somebody didn't need me to say, excuse me, and kind of like scoot them a little bit so I have a little bit of room. That doesn't mean that I assaulted them. It doesn't mean that I grabbed them or molested them. I'm literally just like, excuse me. And maybe that was an uncomfortable situation for somebody. That doesn't mean I'm an abuser and I'm an assaulter and that this person was an assaultee or whatever the fuck. It just is like a weird kind of situation where we're all trying to shuffle around in the club. It's loud. People are drunk. I don't want anybody to fall. I don't want to get shit spilled on me. Sometimes things can just be awkward and weird. That doesn't immediately mean that you were a rape survivor, okay? Great point, Boots. Always on point. Always on point. Now, it should be pretty obvious how disgusting this behavior is, but to clarify, as I showed in my video, non-contact sexual assault is most definitely a thing. If somebody like the examples that I gave, definitely not over Discord, though. It's also incredibly problematic to assert that only a certain people, the example used was a 6-foot-tall man assaulting a 5-foot-tall woman. Hooray, cis heteronormativity and toxic masculinity, I guess. Oh my God, I used an example, you guys, the toxic masculinity. And again, if you have your ears plugged in, you go the whole time I'm talking, that's the only way that you'll be able to get that was my point. But I clarified it here for you, Sage. Maybe you can get out your crayons and your fucking Crayola notepad and you can try and follow along this time. Okay? Can commit sexual violence, and it essentially gives credence to toxic narratives that silence victims, particularly male victims of sexual violence, victims who may have some type of privilege, and the victims who may stay silent because they were assaulted by someone who, quote, doesn't look dangerous enough. Not about looking dangerous enough, it's about the realistic threat of danger or violence if you say no. If there is a very credible threat that if you say no, this person's gonna fucking stab you, or tase you, or rape you, then yeah, absolutely. That is something that I am definitely in tune with, and I think that that's fair to, like, criticize that, right? If you put somebody in precarious situations, you can have, I'll even flip the roles for you. Say you have a little 5'1" girly, and you have this big 6-foot-tall Chad. 6-foot-tall Chad, he makes a lot of money, okay? And 5'1" Becky, she don't make that much money, okay? He wants a baby trap Chad, okay? And so they go out to dinner. Chad says, good night, Becky. And Becky says, Chad, will you please come over to my apartment so we can spoon? And Chad says, okay, they go over, and Becky locks the door. Turns around and she pulls out a taser and she says, pull your fucking pants down right now. And Chad says, whoa, what the fuck? And she says, Chad, we're making a baby right fucking now. I'm tired of living on McDonald's wages. I'm about to make it big. We're fucking doing it right now or I'm going to tase the shit out of you. And Chad goes, oh my God, okay, fuck, like, oh my God. The threat there is that there are physical consequences. If Chad says no, she's going to tase him and do it anyway. If Chad says no, she's going to bonk Scooby-Doo him and do it anyway, okay? Like, the threat of something bad happening to you if you say no is the deterrent for you, like, establishing and maintaining your boundaries, right? My boundary is I'm not going to give my wallet to strangers. If somebody puts a fucking gun in my face, my boundary's a little bit more loose. I might be a little bit more keen to hand over my wallet, right? If there is an imminent threat of something bad happening to me. If I say no, that's going to change my answer and my boundaries. If a little kid comes up to me with a plastic fork and goes, give me your fucking wallet, I'm going to be like, get out of here, bro. If some dude walks up to me with a fucking machete and is like, give me your wallet, I'm going to be like, do you want my PIN number as well? Can I give you my checkbook? I can go home and get it. You want to go? Like, the proximity and the response to your answer, like the fear of something bad happening, is rational in certain situations and not rational in others. Like being able to hang up a Discord call. I don't know what to say. The idea that the assault victim is responsible for their assault, you weren't assaulted. You could say you were sexually harassed. You were not sexually assaulted. If they don't try to stop it because they had a phrase response as a pro-right position, full stop, end of discussion. End of discussion. Interesting. We have more to say, though. I thought that was the end of the discussion. If I wanted to tear further into this, Malcolm, like everyone else harassing us, engaging in ableism towards plural people with DID in his videos. Yeah, I'm pluralphobic. I don't know what to say. It's crazy that you became plural after you met Poppy. It's crazy that that was never a thing before, but suddenly, out of the woodwork, Cerise emerged like a baguette from the ashes. Very interesting. He has also taken the transmed position. Okay, so here we go. Here we go, guys. He's also taken the transmed position that trans women are male socialized, an absurd take that essentializes us down to our assigned gender at birth and ignores the factors that play into how socialization works, and trans people often reject such attempts at socialization. But let me be clear. Poppy had the same problem. Don't worry. I think that between the two of you, you probably share like 4 collective brains. But let me make this really easy for you. Gendered socialization exists. People are socialized as male and female. That socialization is universal. It is across the board. Think of it like a lesson. I'm a math teacher at school. I'm teaching math. The lesson that I teach is going to be the same every single fucking time. 2 + 2 = 4. Lesson is the same every time. Each student might internalize that differently. Each student might learn a little differently. Some students might be really good at math. Some students might have to count on their fingers. Some students might want to write it down. Some students might want to use an abacus. Some students might not fucking get it at all until they're in 101 level college math. However, the lesson is taught the same every single time. In one way or another, however you compartmentalize it best for you, you learn that 1 + 1 = 2. Anything outside of that is delusional. Secondly, anybody who doesn't believe in the concept of socialization is an idiot. Okay? Everybody who is like, oh, it's bioessentialism. Socialization is social behavior. Social behavior can be learned. Social behavior can be unlearned. If you don't believe in the theory of socialization, you are a bioessentialist because you think by virtue of somebody being male, they are this way. By the virtue of somebody being female, they are this way. We behave based on how we're socialized. That's where, you know where that comes from? Rape culture and toxic masculinity. This heteronormativity, all these buzzwords that you use and throw around but are too stupid to understand, are all a result of gendered socialization. Additionally, transmeds are people who think that you have to have gender dysphoria to be trans. Nowhere in this do you say anything about gender dysphoria or being trans. Crazy. Again, I know that you guys share like the 4 brain cells, and it must not have been your turn to hold the brain cell when we were fucking making this schizo post. But just as a little refresher for you, transmedicalism is the belief that you have to have gender dysphoria and medically transition in order to be trans. That's what transmedicalism is. Just a little FYI. Neither of these positions are incredibly relevant to his abusive language towards me. Again, I'm open to criticism. None of this is abusive. This is me just saying, hey, bro, I'm happy to talk. If you don't want to talk, don't. But looks like it's pretty shitty on your end. But again, the 2 words, like it's like a parrot. She's like a parrot. All she can say is, rah, abuse, rah, rape, rah, socialization, rah, essay, rah. It's like, say something different. Hello? Can your owner teach you a new word? Hello? Okay, sorry, we're almost done with this. Okay, here we go. How abusive his abusive language towards me. But I note them because it's interesting how everyone who keeps going after us ends up having extremely problematic takes on at least one group of people. Yeah, I have pretty problematic takes against like assholes who yeah, true. If there was ever a chance I were to go on anyone's platforms to debate or talk about this, they can be assured that the chance is entirely gone now. That was me. Sorry, guys. I ruined everyone's chances. Oh, sorry, guys. I was too abusive. Oh. Except Leona, we're cool. I'll talk with her any day. Everyone else can all go fuck themselves. But she will come on your stream for $1,000. That's what she said on Twitter, is that she would come on your stream for $1,000. So if you guys have $1,000, Sage will come on and talk to you, because everybody in the Poppycule is like shit out of luck right now and very short on cash. So for the low price of $1,000, you can be subjected to the physical embodiment of a sloth talking. Hell yeah, brothers, let's go. That is the Malcolm abuse allegations. What do you guys think? Do you think that I'm an evil abuser? Do you think that I abuse Sage in DMs? Ones in chat if you think that I'm an abuser. Twos in chat if you think that Sage is crazy. Ones and twos, guys. Ones and twos. I should ask if they have payment plans, because $1,000 is pretty steep. But if there's payment plans, there's payment plans. Like I said, the whole like, I said no to Malcolm like a bunch of times. She didn't say no to me a bunch of times. She said no to me approximately 0 times in DMs. She kept asking questions. I was answering her questions. We were having like what the kids would call banter and going back and forth, right? So like, it's crazy that like mine is like this abusive, manipulative, like can't take no for an answer bullshit. But when Noe is literally like, Poppy, I'm breaking up with you. Don't come and see me. No. Poppy just has to get her to say yes, you guys. She's just gotta try a little harder. She's gotta do the Poppy Riz, and then it's